Good morning, students. In our previous class, we had started with this topic, population attributes. Okay, so what are population attributes? The special characteristics of a population are known as population attributes. We have studied different population attributes starting from birth rate. Okay, so birth rate is one of the major population, one of the important population attribute. Okay, this term birth rate can be specifically used only for a population where this term cannot be used for when we are referring to a single individual. So this becomes a first population attribute, birth rate. We have studied what is birth rate, death rate, sex ratio and population density. Okay, population density can also be referred as population size. Then the fifth type of population attribute is age distribution. Okay, age distribution is nothing but percentage of individuals of a given age or age group. If you are talking about a whole country, let's take an example of India itself. Okay, here what is the percentage of different individuals belonging to different age group? Okay, it can be split into three broad age groups. The first one is pre-reproductive. Every individual under the age of 15 years, they come under this pre-reproductive stage. Then the reproductive, everybody, all the individuals belonging to 15 to 64 years of age group are represented as reproductive group or of reproductive age, and people or individuals above 65 years are represented as post-reproductive. Okay, then we had started with this age pyramid. Okay, in order to plot this particular age distribution, we make use of something called as age pyramid. Age pyramid is a pyramid where we will plot the age distribution. Okay, we know there are different types of age categories: pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive. If, for example, if I ask you to draw a age pyramid for different categories of people belonging to India, then how do we draw the age pyramid? Okay, so age pyramid is nothing but where we will plot the age distribution. Okay, here in this particular pyramid we have we have plotted the age distribution. Okay, so we have to consider three important points here. In the age pyramid, it is very important to represent the pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive group. Okay, so in the age pyramid, what we will do, we will plot the age distribution. Okay, so these are the different categories in which we can distribute the age: pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive. Okay, when we plot all the number of, the percentage of individuals belonging to that particular age group, it becomes a age pyramid. Okay, so if you take here, these are the three different types of age pyramids that have been drawn here. These are the actual three age pyramids that we need to study. Okay, so here you can see three different terms. Here I have written expanding. So this is the age pyramid which is expanding. This is a stable age pyramid. This is a declining age pyramid. So age pyramids are of three types. Okay, it reflects whether the growth, when we talk about growth, it is the population growth, is if it is expanding, stable, declining. Okay, I will give you a particular population. Okay, and I will ask you to draw age pyramid for that particular population. Okay, I will give you almost 1000 individuals, a population including, involving 1000 individuals. Then I will ask you to draw a age pyramid for that particular population. Initially, what is your plan of action? If I have given you a population of 1000 individuals, initially what you will do is you will categorize this whole population into 3 categories. Okay, you will divide, you will take 1000 individuals, you will count how many individuals they come in the pre-reproductive stage, okay, or pre-reproductive category. Then you will count the number out of this 1000 individuals, and you will decide almost 400 people are coming under this category pre-reproductive. Okay, then you will count there are almost again 300 individuals who are coming in reproductive category. Depending upon the age, you will categorize them. And again you will say another 300 individuals, they are coming under the post-reproductive category. So this becomes your age distribution. You have categorized the people into pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive category easily, depending upon their age. Now you will draw a pyramid. Okay, here you can see we have made use of 3 colors, yellow, blue and pink. Okay, so here if you see, look into this first age pyramid, which says it is an expanding age pyramid. Okay, now in the yellow color part, we represent, with this yellow color, we represent the people who are in pre-reproductive category. Okay, if you see it, the number of people in the pre-reproductive category are more. That is the reason this part of the age pyramid is very lengthy. It is very broad, right? Then if we come to reproductive, the reproductive category has been represented with this color blue. Okay, now if you look into this, here, why 2 steps to this particular reproductive category? Because what we do is, if we are considering reproductive age people of 15 to 64 years, then there could be people of 15 to almost 30 years in this category, and from 31 to 64 in this particular category. Okay, so that is the reason we use these 2 blocks in order to represent the reproductive phase. Similar way, if you want to draw this pre-reproductive stage also, you can make use of 1 more blocks if people are belonging to different age groups. But this is a very narrow age distribution, just below under 15 years, so we have represented it with a single block here. Okay, these blue color blocks of this age pyramid, they represent reproductive. There is nothing to get confused here. It could be people from 16 to 30 years and here 31 to 64 years. Okay, so this part of the pyramid represents the reproductive category, people who are in the reproductive age. Okay, if you come here, these 3 pink color blocks, they represent the people who are present in the post-reproductive category, or who are in the post-reproductive age. Okay, again why 3? So here we are representing people of 65 years and older. Okay, they come under post-reproductive, 65 years and above. Right, so here it could be 65 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. Okay, that could be the scenario. So if we are considering every individual above the age of 65 years in this post-reproductive category, then this could be 65 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. But all of them, they come under post-reproductive category. People in this blue color blocks, they come under reproductive category. Pre-reproductive category is represented by yellow color. Now why this age pyramid is represented as expanding? If you see here, if you closely observe the age pyramid, it is clearly visible that people who are in pre-reproductive age group are more in number. Okay, people who are in pre-reproductive stage are more in number, whereas if you come to reproductive age category, age group, they are lesser in number when compared to pre-reproductive. Okay, so these reproductive age category people are lesser in number when compared to pre-reproductive. Whereas post-reproductive category of people, they are still more lesser in number when compared to reproductive and pre-reproductive. Okay, so it is a, then why is it called expanding? Expanding term refers to the expansion of the population. Here if you see clearly, people of pre-reproductive stage are more, people of reproductive stage are lesser in number when compared to pre-reproductive, whereas post-reproductive people are very less in number when compared to reproductive and pre-reproductive. What is the fate of this population? Usually we draw this age pyramid, or we make use of this age pyramid to to know the fate of that particular population. Okay, to know the fate or what is going to happen to that particular population. Now if you see, this age pyramid itself indicates, in this particular pyramid, or you have taken a population and you have drawn the age pyramid for that one particular population. Now in this pyramid, people who are belonging to post-reproductive category, that is 65 years and above, are lesser in numbers. That means they have completed their phase of reproductive, they are reproductively not active. That means they are not going to contribute anything for the population. Understood? So they are reproductively not active. This category of people, post-reproductive, they are reproductively not active. So they will not contribute anything towards the population increase. Okay, the population will not be affected by this category of people, because they are in post-reproductive. Soon they will die. Okay, then comes the people of reproductive. This category of people who are in reproductive age also, they are not going to contribute a lot towards population, because soon they will enter the age of post-reproductive. Okay, the reproductive definitely they will contribute, because they are in the they are in a phase where they are reproducing. However, very soon this category of people will move to post-reproductive. And what happens? The category which comes as a priority in an age pyramid is this category, pre-reproductive age group. Why? The people in pre-reproductive age group are the actual people who are going to contribute a lot towards population increase. Okay, because soon this category of people will enter the category of reproductive, and they are responsible for increase in the population growth to a greater extent. Hope this is clear to you. Especially people who are in pre-reproductive phase or age group, they are the they are responsible for the fate of population growth, because when the number of people in the pre-reproductive stage is more, this type of age pyramid indicates that the population will be expanding. The population is going to expand. Okay, so this is going to represent the expanding or increasing population. Why? Because with reference to pre-reproductive phase we are talking, or pre-reproductive age group we are talking, the number of pre-reproductive people in this age pyramid, they are more when compared to people of reproductive and post-reproductive. Soon they will enter the reproductive phase. This pre-reproductive will enter the reproductive stage, and they will be responsible for the growth of that particular population. So this type of age pyramid is known as expanding, because since pre-reproductive people are more here, they are going to help in the expansion or increase in the population. Okay, let's look into the next type of age pyramid. Here if you see, the people who are in pre-reproductive stage age group, pre-reproductive age group and reproductive age group are almost the same. Okay, here blue color represents reproductive, pink again represents post-reproductive. Here you can see post-reproductive age group people are very less when compared to reproductive and pre-reproductive. Whereas the number of pre-reproductive people and the reproductive category people are almost the same. So imagine, even though this age group people, they move to post-reproductive stage in the future, the number of people in the pre-reproductive stage who will come to reproductive phase next, it is going to remain the same as the previous reproductive age group. So this population will not increase, however, this population will not decrease also. It will remain stable. When the people of reproductive phase and pre-reproductive phase are same in number, then this population is neither going to increase nor it is going to decrease. It is going to remain stable. Okay, because there are quite number of individuals in the reproductive stage. They are reproducing actively. When they go to post-reproductive stage, people who are in pre-reproductive stage, they will come to reproductive stage. However, the number of individuals they are going to produce will remain the same, because previously also there were same number of individuals in the reproductive phase. Okay, so here in this case, this population will be stable, whereas here the number of pre-reproductive age group people were more when compared to reproductive age group. So when they come to reproductive age group, they will increase the population. Okay, because their population itself is more, they are going to increase the population. So that becomes the expanding or increasing population. Here when the people of pre-reproductive and post-reproductive age group, pre-reproductive and reproductive age group are same, this population will not see increase or decrease in its number. Okay, so it is a stable population. If you look into the last type of age pyramid, this age pyramid is known as declining. Declining means there is a reduction. Here if you see, people of the people of post-reproductive age group are all obviously less here. Okay, whereas if you see, the people who are in reproductive age group are more in number when compared to people in pre-reproductive age group. Okay, people in reproductive, the blue color age group, are more in number when compared to people who are in pre-reproductive age group. Okay, such type of, what is the fate of such type of population? I told you age pyramid will decide the fate of that particular population. When I draw the age pyramid, I will get to know how many are in pre-reproductive, how many are in reproductive, how many are in post-reproductive stage. So I can decide the fate or the future of that particular population. If there are people who are in pre-reproductive age group more, then that population has a good fate. It is going to increase. Okay, or the population is going to expand. If pre-reproductive and reproductive age group number is same, then that population is going to remain stable. So that is the fate of that particular population. If the number of pre-reproductive is lesser in number when compared to the reproductive age group, then this particular population is going to decline. Why? Because when this category, reproductive age group, they enter the post-reproductive age in the future, these are the people who are going to come to the reproductive age, reproductive category. Okay, so their contribution towards population growth will be very less. Okay, because their number is already less when compared to the reproductive. When reproductive people go to post-reproductive stage, they will come to reproductive stage. Since their number is less, they will decrease the population. That particular population will decrease. Such age pyramid is known as declining age pyramid because this is going to decline or reduce the population. Okay, so age, by plotting the age distribution, we can decide the population's fate, that particular population's fate. Okay, this age pyramid can also be drawn for the whole country. Okay, see, here I have given the picture or age pyramid of India and Japan. Okay, here I have given the example of India's age pyramid and Japan's age pyramid. If you see here in India, okay, the why this side blue and this side, it is maroon in color. That is because this part of the age pyramid represents male and this part of the age pyramid represents female. Here you can see male and female. Okay, when we draw the age pyramid, in the previous age pyramid also, there is a line here. Why this line? Because one side of the line indicates male category, another part represents female category. Here also, the half of the age pyramid represents the male, half represents female. Okay, so this category represents male and this category represents female. Okay, now if you see, this is how a age pyramid is done. Here I have given only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps for this age pyramid. However, this is how a proper age pyramid looks. Okay, so here in this particular side, they have mentioned age group. Okay, they have started with 0. Okay, and it is going to expand on both the sides. 0, 13, 26, 39, 52, 65. Okay, 0 to 13 we can almost consider it as pre-reproductive, and above it till 65 we can consider it as reproductive. Now if you look into the population, here you can clearly see the population is the age pyramid is going in a proper pyramid shape. Here if you see the first 4 lines, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 lines, these are the category of people coming under pre-reproductive stage. Then almost till here, okay, 65 till here, okay, here they have mentioned the age category also. I'll read this, 0 to 4. Okay, so that means this whole line represents how many children are there in the age group of 0 to 4. This line indicates 5 to 9, this line indicates 10 to 14, okay, this line indicates 15 to 19. So these 3 lines, the first 1, 2, 3, these 3 lines, they represent the pre-reproductive stage or pre-reproductive age group people. The first 3 lines, 0 to 14. Okay, from this line 15 to 19, people who are in 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49, here 54, 59, 64. Okay, till here. From this 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from from here till here, these 10 lines, they indicate people who are coming under reproductive phase. Okay. Then above this, see, from 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 84, 85 to 89, 90 to 94, 95 to 99, 100 plus. Okay, so this is how India's age pyramid looks like. Okay, so these 3 are the people belonging to, individuals belonging to age group of 0 to 14. Okay, so that means this is a pre-reproductive age group. This is the post-reproductive age group. Then above this line, it is the reproductive. See, this exactly looks like this particular pyramid. So we can say it is an expanding pyramid because the population is going to expand, because the number of individuals who are in the pre-reproductive age group are very much high when compared to people who are in the reproductive age category and the post-reproductive age category. Okay, so this is the expanding pyramid or expanding population of India. Okay, so here in India, people who are in pre-reproductive age group are very high in number when compared to the reproductive and post-reproductive age group. So that is the reason all these children will come to the reproductive stage very soon, and they will increase the population of our country. So that means our population is going to expand or increase. So this is the example for a expanding age pyramid. Okay, where here you can see the age pyramid for Japan. Here you can see the number of people who are in reproductive phase are more when compared to number of people who are in, number of individuals who are in pre-reproductive age group. Okay, so that means it is a declining age pyramid. Okay, let's not take post-reproductive age group into consideration. Let's take only pre-reproductive and reproductive. If reproductive age group is less compared to pre-reproductive, that is a expanding age pyramid. If reproductive age group is same in number as of pre-reproductive age group, it is a stable population or stable age pyramid. If the number of reproductive age group are higher in number when compared to pre-reproductive, that pyramid is going to be a declining age pyramid. That population is going to decline. Okay, hope this is clear to you. So here you can see people who are in reproductive age group are higher in number when compared to people who are in, or individuals who are in pre-reproductive age group. So this population very soon it is going to decline. Okay, very soon it is going to decline. Here India's population, it is an alarm that we have more number of people in the pre-reproductive age group. So that is the reason government has taken lot of initiative. Here in our country what happens is, government give incentives to people who who have a small family, who will have only one child for a per parent. Okay, one particular couple. However, in Japan, since the people who are in reproductive stage are more, soon they will enter post-reproductive age, and children who are in pre-reproductive age are less. Government give incentives to those parents who will have more than one kids. Okay, so this is a declining population. This is a expanding population. Okay, so this age pyramid can be represented as a expanding age pyramid, whereas this is a declining age pyramid. Okay, I hope this concept is very much clear to you. So we draw the age pyramid, we plot the age pyramid in order to plot the or distribute the different age category people. When we talk about age pyramid, we have to represent the different types of age category: pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive. This is a very important question for your examination. Where they will ask you to plot the age pyramids for different category: expanding, stable and declining. So next topic, we are done with population attributes. Okay, the characteristics which are specific to a particular population. Under this population attributes, we will have to, when population attributes are asked, we have to explain or mention these particular population attributes: birth rate, death rate, sex ratio, population density and age distribution. These are the different population attributes. Whereas, let's move on to the next topic, population growth. Okay, so now how the population grow? The size of the population changes depending upon food availability, predation, pressure and reduced weather. When we are talking about population, we are not only talking about human population, we are talking about population of all the species that are present on this particular earth. Okay, different types of population, plant population, animal population, and that under that also different species. Okay, dog population, cat population, horse population, human population, a particular plant population. Okay, we will talk about individual population size, how it increases. So how the population increase or decrease. Now the population, the size of the population changes depending upon food availability. Definitely food is a major criteria for the population. Depending upon food availability, the population size varies. The size of the population varies. If there is more food availability, the population size increase. Population size and population density are they have the same meaning. So depending upon food availability, the size of the population change. Predation pressure. You know the relationship between a prey and the predator. A tiger eats a deer. So the tiger becomes a predator, the deer becomes a prey. So when there are more predators, the number of prey decreases. When there are less predators, the number of prey increases. Reduced weather. Okay, if the weather is, it is good enough for the animals or plants to grow, the number increase, the population size increase. Where the weather is unfavorable, then the population size decreases. Population size fluctuated due to change in 4 basic processes. Okay, even though food availability, predation pressure and the weather contributes a lot towards increase or decrease in the population size, there are 4 important factors which actually decides the population, whether it has to increase or whether it has to decrease. Okay, I'll repeat myself. There are 4 important factors which will decide whether the population size or population density has to increase or it has to decrease. Okay, apart from all these things, there are 4 other factors. Now, which are they? Which are the different factors? Population size is fluctuated due to changes in 4 basic processes. Let's study one by one. Natality. Okay, the first factor or the first process which actually contributes towards population size is natality. Natality is nothing but the first population attribute that we have studied, birth rate. Okay, so birth rate is also represented as natality. Number of birth in given period in the population. Okay, now I'll give you 1 year of time. In 1 year of time, how many new individuals are added to the population? I'll give you 1 year time. I'll show you one particular population. Okay, for example, we have already talked about lotus. 1 year of time I'll be giving you. Okay, and I will ask you to initially count the number of lotus plants. If you count the lotus plants as 20, okay, I'll ask you to count the number of lotus plants in a particular pond. You will count the number of lotus plants as 20. There are multiple other plants in the pond, but we are talking about one particular population, that is lotus plants. Okay, initially you will count the number of lotus plants as 20. I'll give you 1 year of time. After 1 year of time, I will ask you to count the natality, that is birth rate. How many new lotus plants are added? If there are 4 lotus plants are added extra or added newly into that particular population, that becomes the natality, birth rate. There were already 20 lotus plants, 4 were added newly to that particular population. So that becomes natality, that is birth rate. Number of birth in given period in the population in a particular time period. I have told you the time period as 1 year. So how many new individuals were added to that particular population in a particular time period. Next is mortality. Mortality is nothing but death rate. Okay, number of deaths in the population in a given period of time. the same pond, you have already counted 20 plants. After 1 year, I will ask you to count the death rate or mortality in that particular pond. Okay, initially you have counted and kept 20 plants. After 1 year, if there is one plant missing out of those 20, then that becomes the mortality. One plant is dead. So that is the death rate. 1 out of 20. So number of death in the population in a given period of time. Then the next two are the different processes which are also actually affecting the population size. Immigration is the third process which actually contributes towards the increase or decrease in the population size. What is immigration? Immigration means it is a number of individuals of same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during a given period of time. Okay, so let's take lion population of a forest. Okay, you go to a forest, you count the number of lion population. You count the number of lions. That becomes lion population. For example, in the forest, you have counted this year. You have counted the number of lion population as 10. Okay, there were 10 lions in that particular forest. That becomes the lion population. Okay, so 10 is the number of lion population. Forget this natality and mortality. There could be new lions born in that particular population. There could be few lions dead in that particular population. Out of these two, there is one more factor known as immigration. Immigration means there could be a possibility that a lion belonging to some other forest might come and join this particular lion population of this particular forest. That becomes immigration. Okay, so there were already 10 lions in this particular population. There is one more coming from the neighboring forest and joining this population. So 10 plus 1, it becomes 11. So that is known as immigration. Okay, so for this population of lions where number is 10 in that particular population, if a new tiger is going to come, we cannot add it as immigration to this particular population. Why? Because same species, individuals belonging to the same species. If we are talking about a lion population, another lion has to come and join this population. I have to consider it as immigration. If another tiger is coming and joining this population, this cannot be immigration. Tiger belongs to some other population, some other species. Okay, so we are talking only about Panthera leo, only the lion population. From the neighboring forest, if only a lion is coming from the neighboring forest and joining this particular population, lion population, that becomes immigration. Individuals belonging to the same species coming from some other habitat to the population of our interest. Okay, what is immigration? Let's study again. It is the number of individuals of same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during a given period of time. Okay, I will give you a one, today I have counted the lion number of lions in that particular forest as 10. I will come and count the number after 1 year. In this time span of 1 year, another lion from another forest might have come and joined this particular lion population. So that becomes immigration. So that becomes 10 plus 1, 11. So this is known as immigration. Individuals belonging to the same species coming to this particular habitat from elsewhere. It could be anywhere. Okay, in a particular given time. So that becomes immigration. Then the last process, which also is helpful in deciding the population size, is Emigration. Emigration means, in a simple term, when we counted the number of lions today, it was 10. After 1 year, if you take the count, the number of lion, is only 9. Okay? There could be two possibilities. One is mortality. One lion might have died. Okay, that if the lion is dead, then that will be considered as mortality. If the lion is not dead, still it is missing. Okay, initially when you counted today, the number of lions were 10. After 1 year when you are counting, the number of lions become 9. There are two possibilities. One, the lion is dead. If the lion is not dead, there is one more possibility. The lion has left this particular habitat and gone somewhere else. Okay, if the lion has left this particular population and it has gone somewhere else, that becomes emigration. Okay, so now you know the difference between immigration and emigration. Immigration means somebody coming to your house. Emigration means somebody leaving your house. If you talk about India, then if there are people from some other foreign countries coming to India and settling here, that becomes immigration. Okay, people from India leaving India and going and settling somewhere else, that becomes emigration. Hope this is clear to you. So, if a population size or population density has to increase or decrease, or if there is change in population density, there are 4 basic processes which are helpful. One is natality, that is birth rate. If a new individual is born in that particular population, that becomes natality. Mortality is if any individuals are dead in that population, that becomes mortality. Immigration. Immigration means if any individuals are coming into the population from somewhere else, that becomes immigration. The last process is emigration. That means from a population, one individual is leaving. It could be one or more. Any individual is leaving this particular population and going somewhere else. That becomes emigration. Now you decide which two processes, out of these 4 processes, there are 2 processes which will increase the population and there are 2 processes which will decrease the population. Okay, hope you are able to calculate. Okay, which are the 2 processes out of mortality, natality, and immigration and emigration? Which 2 processes will increase the population size? Which other 2 processes which will decrease the population size? Okay, since we are not able to interact, I myself will reveal the answer. Here, natality, that is birth rate, and immigration, these 2, natality and immigration, the first process and the third process will increase the population size or population density, both are same. Okay, natality, that means birth rate, and immigration will increase the population size, whereas mortality and the immigration, the second and fourth process, will decrease the population size or decrease the population density. Okay, I hope you are also clear with this particular topic. You are also able to answer along with me. Natality, birth rate, and immigration, the first and the third one will increase the population size, whereas the second and the fourth one will decrease the population size. Okay, when there is more birth in the family, new birth in the population, and there are people coming from outside to a particular population, it will increase the population. Whereas when there is death and when there are people leaving that particular population, it will decrease the population size or population density. I hope this is clear to you. With that confidence, I'll move on to the next particular diagram, which actually indicates what I have explained you till now. Okay, here in the center we have this, in the square shaped block, I have written population density. Okay, population density is always represented by alphabet capital N. Okay, N. Population density is represented by capital N. So this is population density. Here all the four sides I have written one process which will increase or decrease the population density. Here it is natality, which is birth rate. Here I don't know whether it is very clear to you. Okay, so here the natality is represented with the help of alphabet B, capital B. B represents birth rate. Okay, natality means birth rate. So it is represented with the help of alphabet capital B. Okay, so here there is one more process, mortality, that means death rate. It is represented with the help of alphabet capital D. Okay, here it is natality, birth rate, which is represented by capital B. Okay, here it is mortality, which is represented by capital D, because mortality represents death rate. So capital D. Okay, here immigration. Okay, immigration is the third process. It is represented by alphabet capital I. Okay, it is represented by capital I. Then the last one is emigration. Emigration is represented by capital E. Okay, so natality, birth rate, capital B, mortality, capital D, because it represents death rate, immigration, capital I, emigration, capital E. Now let's look into the direction of these arrows. Okay, here natality is representing birth rate. So there is an arrow which is going towards population density, and there is a plus symbol here. Okay, here there is a plus symbol. So natality is birth rate. Here this arrow which is coming from natality, it is directing towards the population density, and here there is a positive sign, plus symbol. So this indicates natality is increasing the population density. It is positive towards population density, and it is increasing, or it is adding to the population density. This is what the arrow indicates. This arrow indicates it is going towards the population density, it is facing towards the population density. That means it is adding. Here plus symbol also, it represents this is adding towards population density. That means birth rate increases population density. Here if you see mortality or death rate, this arrow is going away from the population density, and here there is a minus symbol. That means it decreases the population density. Natality, birth rate increases the population density, so it is adding towards the population density. Here mortality or death rate, it is reducing the population density, or it is removing. So the symbol minus. Okay, it is removing few individuals from the population density. Okay, whereas immigration also similar way. Immigration means people coming into the population newly. So that is also adding towards the population density, and here there is also a positive symbol. Okay, here also there is a positive or a plus sign. Okay, it says immigration is also adding to the population density, whereas emigration is again people leaving from this particular population. So it is going away from the arrow is directing away from the population density with a minus symbol here. Positive symbols, natality and immigration. It indicates natality and immigration. These two are the process in which the arrow is going towards the population density. If you see here, both the arrows are coming towards population density. That means it is going to increase the population density. There is a plus symbol. Whereas if you see these two processes, arrow is going away from the population density, okay, and there is a minus symbol. It indicates these two, they reduce the population density. It is not adding, it is reducing the population density. Okay, so this is the, this is how we represent the population growth. Okay, population growth means there is increase or decrease in the population density. Okay, when we say population growth, growth can never, it can always be not positive on a positive side. It can also be on a negative side also. When we say growth, there is reduction in the growth also, there is increase in the growth. If there is reduction, there are two processes which helps in the reduction of population: mortality and emigration. There are two processes which will increase the population: natality and immigration. So population density, these two arrow marks should come towards the population density with a plus symbol, and these two arrow marks are going away from the population density with a minus symbol. So this is all about population growth. Okay, so now here population density, I told you we represent it with a capital N. We represent it with a alphabet capital N, population density. Now if we have to write a formula for population density, then how do we write it? Okay, if we have to write a formula for population density, how do we write it? So this is the formula for population density. Nt is equal to No or N0 plus B plus I minus D plus E. Okay, if you have to write the formula or equation for population density, then we write it this way. Nt is equal to N0 plus B plus I minus D plus E. What is B? Birth rate. I, immigration. D, death rate. E, emigration.